chains are gone. I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me, and like a flood, His mercy reign, unending love, amazing grace. Hello. Welcome to Cheryl's Corner. This is a warm environment, and I am encouraging you to sit tight, get comfortable. I'm enjoying a nice cup of coffee, and it is amazing. What is amazing to you? Do you have things that are amazing? Did you have a good day? I usually try to ask probing questions of you. How was your week? How was your day? I'm so happy that you are here. And I am Cheryl. I'm a widow, mom of 2. I'm a G-mom of 1. And I'm thankful that I have a charge to keep and a God to glorify. And with every breath in my body, I am practicing obedience because God has brought me a long way, saints. My friends, He have truly touched my life, and I am encouraging others that if you have a calling on your life, to be obedient to God's will. I'm thinking about just amazing. Let's just talk about amazing grace. Just amazing one-on-one grace. Just get down to basics. Amazing is just things that are astonishing to you. Just things you were not expecting that became such a surprise. New babies being born, new environments, new promotions, new opportunities, new friends, new neighbors. Just what's amazing. Just subscribe. Tell me about it. I need your comments. I ask you guys this every week. Share your comments with me. I do read them. I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful that you share these ideas with me. It is my goal to delve into just life experiences. So I'm asking you to give me a comment. If it's nothing, then, hey man, Cheryl, or keep on pushing, or I'm on board. But tell me something. I feed on that. And I am nothing without you. And I want to constantly acknowledge that your presence is important. Being on board with me, it's just an amazing opportunity. So I thank you for that. And how ways that you can be awesome or amazing. I can tell you is whatever that little thing that you like or that big thing that you like, just be good with it. Do it well. If you're a piano player and you really want to do something better than what you expect, put in more time and more practice. If you enjoy cooking, just do it well. I'm taking these opportunities because I am a motivational speaker. I'm an author. I write books. I'm trying to do it well. And I'm depending on you to pour back into me as to things that I can do to be a better me. Because again, I am nothing without you and without Christ in my life. And I'm so excited about it. And I'm excited because God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life. So let's talk about Ephesians 2:8. We have been saved by grace. What is grace? Grace is that unmerited favor that God has given, allowed for us. And I truly am a believer in the word of Christ. So I want to talk a little bit about how amazing. So I want to spend a little time talking about grace. And that's just undeserved favor. Let's give an example of those type things. Let's say that you have a son or a daughter, and they are spending the summertime to work a summer job because they're off to college, and they need dependable, reliable transportation. So your son, your daughter, they're working really hard, putting in a lot of hours, and they're putting this money into their kitty to save for this vehicle that they really want. So as the summer progresses, and at the end of the summer, when they look into the kitty that they have been saving for the purchase of their vehicle, they fall a little bit short. Because they fall a little bit short, you look at what they have saved, and being the parent, you just want to bridge the gap. So with the extra that they are missing, you provide that. So is that grace? Is that the way that God sees us? Is that we do so much, and work so hard, we didn't squander it? The child wasn't lazy. They didn't spend a lot of money going to movies or eating out or being frivolous or buying clothes or items like that. They 100% served and saved for the vehicle. So you want to match that effort as a parent and bridge that gap to provide them with the additional funds for reliable transportation. No, that's not what God is saying in regards to the favor. If you can recall the story in the Bible about the prodigal son, he came back with nothing. He didn't do anything. The father was just there, and he looked, and he's like, this calls for a celebration. And he had a feast, a festival for the son. So that's sort of how God sees us. If you want to come to the Father, just as you are, meek and humble lamb, he will match those efforts. And that's what we're talking about when we're speaking of grace. How amazing is that we can do so many things and fall so short of God's victory and glory that he still look beyond our fault and he see our needs. That is truly an amazing grace. Why speak about grace? I speak about grace because it is so many things that we don't deserve, but that we benefit from. Some things we're benefiting because of our ancestors. And those are things with an opportunity to be better. Each generation try to promote the next generation to a better establishment or a better position in life. I had grandparents and great-grandparents that worked so hard, and I would be doing them a disservice not to be the best that I could possibly be. Have you thought about ways that you can promote your legacy and your generation? Why speak about grace? We speak on those things because we are in the knowledge, or you should be in the knowledge, that it wasn't anything that you could have said, done, or have been. Without Christ in your life, you wouldn't be that. And I'm happy today to share that. One of the things that was so amazing, my grandson had an opportunity to spend a weekend with me. He was about 3 or 4 years old. He was in daycare, and they would always read nursery rhyme stories and books to them. They always had class reading time. And my daughter, she had lost her glasses, and she doesn't see well without them. She's visually impaired. So I was reading article to her so we could discuss it, and I continued to read on, and my grandson woke up and he looked at me. He looked at the book that I was holding, and he looked at me again, and he looked at the book that I was holding, and he said, you know how to read? You reading that? And I was like, yes, I'm reading this. And he was so astonished. He was so surprised. It was just amazing to him. And he was like, you sound like my teacher. I didn't know that she knew how to read. And I didn't know that she knew how to read, and it was just so funny, And I could just see the surprise in his eyes, and he said, "Oh, would you please read to me all the time?" And that's something that I'm getting into on another channel, is to promote reading. But with this Amazing Grace 101, I'm reminded of a slave ship owner. His name was John Newton, and he is the author of Amazing Grace that we so prophetically sing. Just every denomination, most religions, Catholic, Protestant, Methodist, Baptist, Evangelical, Anglican. This is one of the songs. And I initially started out with a verse, but he was a slave ship captain. And on one of his tours from the Carolinas into Africa, he was met with a very treacherous storm. The sea had tossed the boat and ship about, and the slaves that were tethered to the ship began to wail and moan, and they began to pray in the language that they knew. And with that, Captain Newton heard the moans and the cries and the sadness, and he wrote down the words up to Amazing Grace. And it was something to the effect that I was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. So when he returned back to the States, he avoided the idea of being a slave owner. He set these people free, and he parked his ship to never do that again. And he became an abolitionist. And that's a person who abolished slavery and speak on behalf of those who cannot speak for themselves. He became a proponent of freeing people, and that these are human beings. And if you ever look at the words Amazing Grace, remember that those prophetic words were penned from a man whose life was changed. What am I saying? I'm saying that in Ephesians, it is speaking about a life with Christ and a life without Christ. And when you merge the two, our lives is better with Christ. Just as in the slave captain's message, he made a lot of money selling humans. That was a life without Christ. But once he found a life with Christ, he knew that that was not in the best interest of promoting human dignity and respect. So with that, he changed, and he lived out his days serving God and speaking on human rights, reparations, what we can do to be better people. I am speaking on grace. Grace 101 is what I call it, because we got to get back to the basics. I am Cheryl. I am so glad that you are here with me. I'm asking, please leave me a comment. I will continue to be a part of your life if you allow me to be that. Again, thank you, and I am so glad for God's amazing grace.